Thanks for tuning in to 3 Point View. We're drinking beer and talking sports is what we do. They're having a disagreement right now, just like Shaq and Kobe had disagreements all throughout the early 2000s. But they sat down this weekend for an interview with TNT to talk about their relationship in the past, what went on, what didn't go on. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about that interview?
I thought it was great.
I liked one part of the interview in particular where Kobe and Shaq, or Kobe was talking to Shaq and was remembering the first time they ever actually had an interaction with each other on the court, and Shaq was being a little bit rough, and he kept calling him. I think the word they were beeping out was bitch. He kept calling him a bitch over and over again, and Kobe stepped up like, "You're not going to be calling me that." And he said he seen this massive hand come down, and it was Shaq's hand, and he kind of swung to the side, and he kind of took a swing at him. And he said at that very moment, he came to the realization that Shaq and him were like-minded. They both were driven, and basically the game meant that much to him. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a cool thing to be aired out on TV.
I thought it was great with Jerry West. Shaq mentioned when he was in Orlando and he wanted to get $150 million, out of the Lakers to go to the Lakers, and on a trade and then sign an extension. Well, anyways, Jerry West didn't get him 150. He got him 120, and then as Shaq was signing the paperwork, West was like, "Hey, we just traded for this kid out of Charlotte, because remember Kobe was drafted.
Kobe drafted number 13,
and then traded to the Lakers for like Vlade Divac or Eddie Jones or something." Vlade Divac, that's what it was.
That guy's probably, oh my god.
Somebody got fired.
Well, anyways, Jerry West then is telling Shaq as he signed this contract, he was like, you guys are gonna win about 3 or 4 championships together. And Shaq was like, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna sign this $120 million. That's all I care about right now. I don't care about this kid. And then, come to fruition, they end up with 3 together.
Now that I watched it, I didn't think about it this time, but I got why Kobe was so mad. Shaq said that he got beat up on a regular basis to the point all year that when the offseason came, he got fat. Mm-hmm. He drank margaritas, or what did he say, daiquiris, and relaxed by the pool.
Ate the way you wanted to.
Kobe was in the gym 10 hours a day, every day.
Shooting 1,000 shots.
Working on every bit of his game.
Yeah.
So Kobe's whole point was, you act like you're the man. You don't put in the work to be the man, so quit going around saying you're the man when you're not putting in the work.
And during the interview, Shaq actually admitted to what Kobe was saying, that even if he would have put half as much effort as Kobe was, how many more championships they could have won together.
I like when they were interviewing Shaq about Golden State or whatever, and he said LeBron might go to Golden State, and he said, who should LeBron go to? Mm-hmm. And Shaq said Golden State. And Stephen A. Smith was like, he went, what do you mean, blasphemous, and all that stuff. But Shaq said, I didn't know you could go. I would have went and played with Mike if I didn't know all this. Like, I would have made my life a lot easier and won 6 championships too.
I like when they split, when they came to that split, and Shaq went to Miami, Kobe was like, all right, I know Shaq's going to get 1, so he's going to get 4. So that means I got to get 4 and 5. I have to have more than Shaq.
That competitiveness.
So then when Shaq won that, then Kobe went on that 3-peat with Paul Gasol and them guys. The 2-peat with Paul Gasol and all them. So anyways, he's at the podium at the end, and he's with his daughters, and he's like, got 1 more than Shaq. That's all that matters.
Well, so
Shaq, he kept that going.
Shaq said, what if I signed a 10-day with Golden State for this year? He was like, you wouldn't do that. You would like, you can see it in Kobe's eyes that he's that ultra competitor.
He's like, I'll have to come back out of retirement.
He told Shaq when he was like 18 that he was gonna be better than Mike.
MJ.
He told me I'm gonna be the Will Smith of the NBA, which was kind of goofy and corny, but at the same time. But Kobe, just that, like we talked about earlier in one of our segments, we talked about how if you're a competitor, you compete no matter what. Right. And Kobe just seems so ultra
he's nominated for an Oscar for Dear Basketball.
Really?
Yeah, for his little short film thing. Nominated for an Oscar.
He's actually recruiting now. They said.
Oh my God! Think about. Have you seen the Jalen Rose commercial with Kobe?
No.
Where he's sitting in a restaurant. You haven't seen that?
I don't think so.
Jalen Rose comes into the restaurant and he tries to avoid Kobe. Jalen Rose was playing on the Raptors when Kobe put up 81.
81, right?
So he's playing. He comes in. He's on his phone or whatever. Kobe's sitting in the booth and he's got a martini, or he goes to order a martini. Jalen goes, "Hey, Kobe," and Kobe's like, "Hey, Jalen, what's going on?" And the waiter comes over and he goes, "Mr. Bryant, what would you like to drink?" He's like, "I'll take a martini." And he was like, "How many olives?" And he looks at it and goes, 81. And Jalen Rose's face is all stone face.
Oh my god!
And he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding.
I think that was a part of they played off of that on that show that they made, which was one of the most horrible shows I've ever seen of all time.
What's
That Jalen Rose show they like tried it was like
Kobe.
No, it's
Jalen
an
versus
actual
everybody.
show. Jalen Rose Against the World or something.
Jalen versus everybody.
Yeah, but oh
Okay.
my god, did you watch that? It was so painful. You know how painful it was to watch Kevin Hart before the NBA All-Star game? How like it just wasn't going. It was so bad. Like they played the one episode and they haven't even talked about it ever since. It completely bombed.
His Instagram handle is Jalen versus everybody.
Oh, is it? So I just know I watched it. It was just awkward to watch. It was not fun.
I like Jalen Rose.
I like Jalen Rose, but at the same time, I don't know.
That commercial was hilarious.
How do you talk about anybody's defense after someone drops 81 on you?
Well, yeah. I mean, probably 52 of those points were on Jalen.
Right,
you know.
but I'm saying, like, how do you even mention defense? Like, you just...
It's such a funny commercial, though. But anyways, back to what we were talking about.
So, he's recruiting for the Lakers now, they said, Kobe. And Kobe's whole thing was that the Lakers, the history, that they don't have to even really recruit.
They shouldn't have to recruit.
It recruits itself.
No.
You should want to be here.
And if not, they don't want you. Because it takes a special player to play for the Los Angeles Lakers.
So
to be the man.
The thing with Shaq, he said, like you said, when he swung at him and he missed at the end of the interview, he says, I didn't notice how big that hand was coming at me. But I can get, like I said, behind what Kobe was so angry about because, like, you can't say you're the man and then just be a big fat ass.
Right.
He said the first 3 months of the season, he'd have to drop 50 and so on and so forth just for them to be competitive because Shaq was still working himself in
the game.
But then Shaq says, I was injured so much from Hack-a-Shaq that...
And Shaq is the most physically gifted athlete, maybe of
dominant
all generations combined.
He's the biggest man in the world.
I mean, he's huge, and as far as athleticness, with the
that's
size,
what they say.
he's not the biggest
That's what
man in
they
the world,
say.
but
That's what they say.
I mean,
not literally.
to be that size, that height, that much weight on you, and to be as athletic as he was. I mean, the older he got, the less athletic he was.
He was such a super athlete coming out of
but
LSU.
he was a freak, you know, and he didn't have to put in a lot of work, and that's what was pissing Kobe off, is because Kobe knew that if he put in a little bit of work, he would have maintained that for a lot longer. And Shaq didn't care; he liked cheeseburgers and stuff. So
if he would have just practiced free throws in the he could have drank daiquiris.
And I believe Shaq did practice free throws. I honestly do.
How are you that bad at free throws,
dude? He wasn't good at them. But to be honest, if you look at his overall stats, he wasn't the worst either. He really wasn't.
Is he better than Andre Drummond?
Did you see in Uncle Drew in the clip that they had where Shaq punches Uncle Drew, and then Uncle Drew is sitting on the ground and goes, "That's the only free throw you ever made," or something like some little shot like that at him.
All right, so we talked about the Lakers. There's another Laker that's out there that's talking himself out. It looks like of a max deal right now. That's Isaiah Thomas. Is he just going to be the money dump? Or are they just going to dump him as soon as the season?
I mean, if he doesn't play his cards right, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I said this a couple weeks back that I feel like his injury alone is going to stop him from getting max contract. Not to mention the little antics as far as him coming back from the injury, not looking like the same player, the little
defensive liability.
Yes, I mean that's part of him.
Completely exposed.
Oh my god, it's hard.
And
to
then
watch.
when he was in Cleveland, throwing little digs at his own teammates.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Things like that.
How do you throw digs at LeBron?
How do you just come to a team?
Because he
had
knew.
that mentality that he's a superstar.
Yeah.
you know?
and he knew that he was being exposed as not the superstar.
And he wanted people to stop blaming him. In the back of his mind,
He knew it was him.
He knew it was him, but he's had to defend himself because he's looking to get that Brinks truck. Remember from that interview? So on top of that, you get traded after 15 games. You're a defensive liability. You're talking trash in the locker room about your teammates on a team that you just got to and started playing with for the season. And then on top of it, the greatest player on the planet right now plays for that team. So then you say, "Oh, I don't want to get traded," and then a day later, boom, you're out the door. Now you're in LA. You get into all that mess with Rondo. You start yapping. I mean, he's played 3 games with the Lakers now.
I've seen an internet meme that cracked me up about the All-Star game. It was LeBron and Kyrie. They were sitting there laughing back and forth, and they were covering their face. And it said they thought they were going to replace me with IT, and they were both just started cracking up laughing like, there's no way in hell. Like
Right.
it was funny to look at.
I don't see the Lakers, like we talked about before in previous segments, they're not going to pay him max money. Somebody will pay him not max money, but he'll at least get $100 million, $120 million.
That's even
Really, I feel like I don't know if he will.
He's still getting paid. So some
You
teams
think someone will give him max money?
I don't.
not
think,
max, not full max.
I don't think he's getting 100 million. Either.
Not
He's still
full
never
max.
gonna have to work another day.
I can see him getting.
He could quit now.
I can see him getting 4 years, 5 years, $100 million. 4
years,
years,
$20 million.
$90 million, $20 to $25 million range. That's what he's gonna end up getting.
Go to Sacramento IT and drop.
Well, that's where
25 a
that's
night.
where he came from.
I know what I'm saying.
You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a team off the map they can't recruit that star power.
It's not going to be Sacramento because they just drafted De'Aaron Fox, so he's the
that's
future
true.
point guard there.
So who do you think the best?
Well, I think Doc Rivers and I think
The Clippers, maybe.
Austin Rivers are going to be gone after this year. So I think the Clippers, he would go there. I think he would go to the Clippers.
And they have-
because he's still in LA and he's still at the Staples Center. So and he's from out there. I mean, he was named after Isaiah Thomas from the Pistons on a bet that his dad lost with the Lakers Pistons game.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't know that.
Yeah.
And if Jordan stays there, at least he has somebody to cover defensively the hole that he's.
Yeah, you
going
can throw lobs to him all day.
He's gonna miss.
So, Clippers are going to end up becoming irrelevant again.
So you talked about Jordan. It was his birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
Tell me about your most favorite. Is that kind of say that most favorite?
Most favorite.
Michael Jordan moment.
I got two that stand out, and it's the one against the Portland Trailblazers when he was making those threes, and he made that. I think it was like a 6-3, and he like comes off,
like,
shrugs,
I don't even know at this
shrugs
point.
like that, and then when he came back and played in Madison Square Garden,
I'm back.
yeah, the I'm back, comment.
45.
Wearing number 45, and then the double nickel game, puts up 55.
My favorite Jordan moment, I was watching it actually, was the flu game against the Jazz. I mean, when he was actually like on the sideline looking dead, just looked completely. And at the end of the game, Pippen's like helping carry him off, but in between, either he put on the best acting job ever, and there was nothing wrong with him, or he was.
Well, he was pretty good in Space Jam.
Well, I'm just just saying, either that was the case and there was nothing wrong with him,
Yeah.
or he proved right then and there that he was probably the most driven athlete we've ever seen. I mean, he was sweating in between, like the sweat was pouring off him in the first quarter, and he hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the determination of the flu game. That's all.
Yeah. I also like the Washington Wizards block when he was playing
He put up
Chicago.
40
He was
playing
playing
the Wizards
against
one game.
Chicago for the Wizards, and I can't remember who it was that went in for a layup, and he came up and took it off the glass and brought it back down.
The shot against the Cavs.
Yeah.
Where
He
he
made 2 buzzer beaters against Cavs.
where he went up and Craig Elo like had to like shield himself. To this day, like every time they show Cleveland's like hard
Yeah,
coming,
push
they
off
always have to
against the
show.
Jazz.
They always have to show the shot and the
Jump when he jumped
that
in
was
the air.
that was basically
Iconic
his
moment.
culmination. I'm taking over. This
Yeah.
is it, and I'm taking over.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday to you, Mike. I still believe you're the greatest player of all time. I did hear this last year. Played Kemba Walker 1-on-1, beat Walker's ass. Heard it. Reports came out.
Mhm.
They asked him a couple of days later. He said, you know how you said he willed himself? He willed himself to beat Kemba Walker. They said he couldn't move for like 3 days. But they said that fadeaway was still just as crisp as it always was.
And players like him, I can't imagine that he's not playing basketball
Oh,
still
yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like it might be with just
Probably
some
his
buddies, and he's got a gym in his house.
They showed him and Tom Brady playing.
Exactly.
know,
I mean,
so that was
there's got to
somewhat
be
recent.
There's got to be moments where he's still got a ball in his hand. So
Yeah.
I can imagine his shot's probably not completely gone.
He's probably out there during Hornets practice, shooting.
Yeah.
So.
Happy birthday to you, Mike, and we'll be right back at you at 3 Point View after this.